But here's the challenge. You can't set the guardrails up when you need them. In other words, you don't buy insurance when your house is floating down the street. That's not the time. You got to buy insurance when you don't need it. When everything's going great, that's the perfect time to buy insurance. Rationally, it makes sense. But sometimes in the moment, it becomes almost counterintuitive. So this is when you commit. This is really what separates the students from the masters. Because the students will get this far and feel good, like I said yesterday, and stop the process. The masters will do whatever it takes. Will put the guardrails up. The toughest guardrails. I remember I took dance lessons once, and the instructor was known to be a very, very tough, to the point, demanding teacher. I remember I walked up to her. I said, I heard so much about you, and that's why I want to work with you. And I know you have a tough reputation. And she kind of smiled, a little uneasy, kind of didn't expect me to lay that out to her. And I said, now, here's why I asked for you from the beginning. Don't be nice to me. And she looked at me. I said, no, you don't need to be nice. You don't need to sugarcoat things. You don't need to beat around the bush until I get to know you. I want the tough you right now. That's how I learn the best. And she smiled. She said, are you serious? I said, yeah. I said, I'm a coach. This is what I teach. And she was good. Finally. And it was a great experience. Even though sometimes in the moment, I wish I didn't say that. But I grew by leaps and bounds. So as you set your guardrails, the first thing you got to do is get accountability. And as much accountability as you can, the greater the chance and the likelihood of you staying on track. So whether you get a coach, if you haven't taken advantage of our personal complimentary one-on-one coaching session, take advantage of it. Okay? Or if coaching isn't something you want to do yet, then get an accountability buddy. Get a mastermind. Build your own leadership team. But get people that you got to answer to. That's the whole concept behind the letters. See, today things kind of make sense of some of the actions that we set forth in the previous days. And once you get accountability, the next thing you do is create a success ritual. You don't wake up hoping to be successful. You create it by bringing it into your body, manifesting it in here so you can manifest it out there. So create your ritual, whether you do incantations, you say your I am statements, you come to me and we create a vision for you, or you learn about NLP and you learn anchoring and you do a power move, or you use anchoring, or you use meditation, or you bounce on a rebounder, or you work out and you say positive incantations. Don't wake up and work your plan if you're not in a peak state. Because if you're only in a blah, okay, not too bad state, that's the kind of results you're gonna create. So if you want to create outstanding results, you gotta play at that level. Tiger Woods gets it. So does Michael Jordan. So did Lance Armstrong. The difference between those who do and those who don't. And sometimes it's a very thin line. But if you study success, you'll realize that people who are consistently successful, not the one and doners, but people who are consistently successful, who play at a high level, understand how to put themselves in the right state. And we call it a success ritual. Next thing is I want you to make 3 or 4 new commitments, but space them out. Okay? So kind of make them almost like opportunities on your roadmap with your guardrails that you're going to re-engage. Whether you say one of them, I think one of the best ones you can do is recommit maybe in 30 days to redo this program. Maybe you say every month I'm going to read a book, or I like to listen to, I'm a big iPhone fan, so I drive a lot, so I always listen to some book on tape. And to tell you the truth, I listen to some of the same books over and over again. Think and Grow Rich, many, many times. E-Myth Revisited many, many times, okay? Books, because every time I listen to the book again, I get so much more. Yes, I like the new books. I love learning new things. But I also recognize again the value of going back to what I know. So I re-engage. I've gone back to seminars over and over again, have paid a lot of money just to go back to re-experience. Because the person who goes through it the first time isn't the person who goes through it the current time. You've changed. So re-engage. Actively participate. Challenge yourself. Raise the bar. You know, we do a certification for people who want to do life coaching. And it's a crazy, crazy weekend. It's 32 hours long from 7 o'clock on a Friday night till 6:30 on a Sunday. That's our official beginning time and our ending time. Everything else goes away, it goes. So people sometimes, they look at the clock and they say, wow, it's 12 o'clock and Joe's just getting into new material, new content. We're doing a mock coaching session. And one of the reasons why I designed it this way is to help people push past their perceived limits of what they can absorb, of how they can perform even when they're tired, even when they're kind of like have inundated with so much information. If you don't test your own limits, you'll never know what you're capable of. So you will always respond according in the same way you've always responded in the past. Test your boundaries. Push beyond. See what's on the other side. And one way or the other, you're going to learn tremendous amount of information and wisdom, experience along the way. And lastly, probably one of the most important things is to get in your heart. See, we spent time here and we spent time here, but truly to solve the challenges and issues of our lives, yeah, sometimes we need to go in our head, but usually they live the solutions in our hearts.